Well, hi and welcome. My name is John Kennedy, and on behalf of the entire family and team here at Waters Garden Center, it's my indeed pleasure to be one of the very first to welcome you to the team here at Waters Garden Center. We want to make sure that on your first day, if you're starting out fresh or as you're returning as a seasonal employee, that you are rooted and ready to go starting day one. We want to give you all the tools that you need to be successful in order to be exactly what we would want, a great team player and successful in everything that you do here. We're going to talk about our vision, our values. We're going to talk about our mission. We'll give training about culture and the great game of business and customer service. But ultimately, at the end of this roughly 30-minute video, you will be ready to start day one, being rooted and ready for your success. On behalf of the family here, it's my pleasure and honor to turn it over to Ken and Mackenzie Lane, who want to wish you a happy welcome as well. Ken, Mackenzie?
Hey, thanks, John. Appreciate that. So, welcome to Waters Garden Center. We are so glad you're part of the team. We've got over 60 years of experience here in the Prescott area, and we just want you to be a part of that. Mackenzie's grandfather started the business back in 1962. He had a landscape company, florist shop, pet stores, feed stores, and garden center. And so we've just been perfecting this all these years. So Lisa and I are the second generation owners, and then Mackenzie is the third generation.
Welcome to Waters here. We are very engaged with our community. We work well within them. So we want you guys to be proud of where you work. We actually have a family saying we go by. Family is more than your bloodline. It's who you include in your everyday life, and we think that's your work life.
So we've put this series together so that you can be just a better team player here at Waters Garden Center. We want you to be a better person. By the time you leave, from the day you started to the time you leave, we want you to be better at plants, better at customer service, salesmanship, business. We want you to be well-rounded. And so we've put this whole training series together just for you. And so that's our philosophy. One of the things we want at Waters Garden Center. How do we make your experience, how do we make you proud to come to work every day here at Waters Garden Center?
And we'll kick it back to John.
Well, thank you, Ken and Mackenzie. What a wonderful, warm welcome that they bring to you as a new team member or as a returning team member here at the family business of Waters Garden Center. 3 generations, what a great story. And you don't have 3 generations without doing things right. Businesses don't last 60 years by winging it. There's intention and there's strategy. And this entire onboarding video is dedicated to bringing you up to speed about what those strategies are. We're going to talk about vision. We're going to talk about our mission, and we're going to talk about our core values. Those are the 3 key ingredients of any successful business. Without vision, everyone is running around rudderless. They're not sure what direction they're going in. Without a core set of values, we're not able to guide the decisions that we make. And without a mission, we're not able to drive success each and every day. So I'm going to talk about all 3, and we'll start at the top with our vision. Our vision here at Waters Garden Center is we don't sell plants, we sell garden success. We don't sell plants, we sell garden success. We want those guests coming here to Waters Garden Center to be successful. And you're part of that through education and training that Ken had mentioned earlier. We pour knowledge and insight into you so that you leave here better than when you first started here. So our vision, we don't sell plants, we sell garden success, is a key first start to the secret ingredients we have here at Waters Garden Center. As we join you in our next part, we're going to go into a little more detail about our mission, and then we'll finish up with our core values that guide us. Once again, welcome to Waters Garden Center. As we just discussed, the first part of an important business decision is to have a vision, and a vision directs an organization. Next up is a mission. And a mission drives an organization. It's the fuel of the team. And here at Waters Garden Center, we have what we refer to as the 6-star pledge. Those letters are important. Let's take a look at our 6-star pledge, which is the mission for Waters Gardens. And the first of which is to provide useful, understandable info for garden success. L stands for lead. We want to lead our guests to an inspiring, inviting experience. E stands for engage. Engage with a friendly, welcome, smile. D stands for deliver. Deliver happiness and joy throughout Waters Garden Center. G stands for garden beauty through quality plants. And lastly, E, and E stands for enjoy, which is what we want not only our guests to do here at Waters Garden Center, but you as well as a new team member. We want you to show up and ready to enjoy yourself and have fun doing it as well. So that's not only our pledge, our mission to our guests and customers, but it's the pledge to you as well. As we continue to say, welcome to Waters Garden Center. I'll meet you right around the corner, and we're going to talk about the third key component of a successful business, which are called values. I'll see you in just a second. So we have our vision, and that directs an organization. Check. We have our mission, and that drives an organization. Check. Next up, that third component that makes good companies great are called core values. And here at Waters Garden Center, we have 4. And they all start with the same 2 words. We believe. We believe Waters Garden Center makes our community beautiful. We believe in integrity and honesty. We believe in faith and a higher power greater than ourselves. And we believe Waters Garden Center is a fun place to work. Those are the 4 beliefs, our 4 core values. And what we ask of you each and every day, whether you are brand new to this onboarding video and this organization, or coming back as a seasonal employee for another great year here, that you abide by our core values and believe those thoroughly. Because if you believe, then we all believe. And we want to invite you to be part of that success. So vision, values, and mission are what we've accomplished in the first part of this onboarding video. Next up, we're going to talk about culture, and we're going to get into the great game of business, and we're going to talk about what it takes to deliver a consistent customer experience. We call this a lesson in 4s. I'll see you in just a moment. A big part of any successful business, as we talked about before, are those key elements, but it's also the workplace culture. A workplace culture means, how do I feel when I'm here? What's the vibe of the place where I work? And we want to make sure that there's enjoyable, it's beautiful. The vibe here is wonderful, but the culture has to be established. And the way cultures usually are established is not overnight, but over time. And it usually happens by what's called an event. An event typically changes the culture. As an example, if an employee is injured on the job, and God forbid that happens, that's where we start to create a culture of safety. For me, that's a little too late. You don't want to have an event occur in order to change your culture. You want to be able to be intentional. We call that change by design. So an event typically starts cultural change, and what humans typically do is they change their behavior. So for about a month, everybody keeps safety in line. We want to make sure that we wear the things if we're lifting things and making sure that we're not bumping into people and injuring the tools that we use. So behavioral change, the second part of changing culture, usually lasts 30, 60, maybe 90 days. But as humans, we have a way of going back to the way that we've always been. That's that comfort zone that we're used to. The only way to drive consistent, successful, sticky, we call it, culture are through systems. Systems, standard operating procedures, just the way that we do it here at Waters Garden Center. And when we put systems into place, those systems then drive a consistent culture. A word that you'll hear me mention on many occasions is the word consistency. We'll talk about that a little bit later on with the customer experience. But for now, the system that we have to drive cultural shift and change at Waters Garden Center is called the great game of business. The great game of business is our culture of engagement, measurement, and accountability. And as we pick up in the next portion of this onboarding video, we're going to go into a deeper dive about how important it is to have the great game of business be the system that drives our culture. Once again, and many more times as well, welcome to Waters Garden Center. As we pick up where we left off with culture, we talked about systems, right? Systems drive a culture. And the system that I mentioned is called the great game of business. The Great Game of Business is predicated upon a book that Jack Stack wrote years ago. And what it was about, it was turning over the importance of the team in order to give ideas and insights to better the organization. And there are two elements that could help an organization be better. One is called revenue generation. We want to make sure that we're doing the best job we possibly can from a sales standpoint. And although we don't sell plants, we sell garden success, we are, in essence, a sales culture. So revenue generation is the first part of driving change management in a culture of sales. And the other is called cost management. Cost management means how do we reduce the costs of what we're doing at the same time driving revenue and sales? And when you're able to have that happen, that's where profitability comes into play. Profitability, for the most part, is the fuel that makes the business run and stay open and allow us to be able to pay the salaries and hourlies and bonuses and whatnot that occur based on that. So let's talk about the Great Game of Business. And there are four elements to the Great Game of Business. One is education. The second is engagement. The third, communication. And the fourth, play to win. So let's start at the top with education. We want to make sure that you have everything you need in order to be successful. So training videos, this onboarding video, daily huddles each day to make sure that you're aware of what's going on. We want to ensure that you're fully educated to be as successful and rooted as you can starting on day one. Communication, as I just mentioned, is vital as well. And we have something called Group Space, your internet platform here at Waters Garden Center, where you can go and find out everything you need to know about what's going on. Never should there be a chance that you're saying, I don't know, nobody told me. What that means is you may not have checked in at Group Space. So take a look at Group Space, our method in which we communicate how we're doing with the Great Game of Business. The third is called engagement. We want to make sure that you are fully engaged in the process of change management with our culture. And that's, again, you leaning in and stepping up and making sure that you're doing your best each and every day. We'll make sure that you're fully engaged, but a disengaged team doesn't work well together. So lean in, step up, and be a great team player, and it'll be just great here at Waters Garden Center. And lastly, my favorite, play to win. Play to win, and the way that we track that in this Great Game of Business culture are called mini games. Mini games are just fun ways for us on a monthly basis to set up an opportunity for success. As an example, trees. Well, maybe a mini game would be the amount of trees that we sell. How many tree stakes do we sell with the trees so that those customers can be gardening successfully by having the trees grow straight? That would be an example. Units per transaction. Again, how often is it that we could have a customer who's buying plant material add one more item, something that could be helping them to be successful? Fertilizer, if that's the case, fertilome, soil amendment, whatever it is, we want to make sure that they have what they need in order to be successful. So education, engagement, communication, and play to win are the four elements to the Great Game of Business, which is our system of our culture of driving success each and every day with you. So be on the lookout as you're here as a new employee or a returning employee as well. How do we set up these mini games for success? And if you have any ideas how you might be influencing that, we're all ears. We'd want to be able to know. Next up, we're going to be talking about the customer experience. And another mini game could be, how are we doing on our customer satisfaction surveys? When customers tell us how we're doing, are we running a 4.5 or a 4.6 or a 4.7 in our Google reviews? Is your name being mentioned as somebody that went above and beyond? There could be a mini game there as well. So you're starting to see how we're tying all of this together with you right at the front, ensuring that you're successful each and every day. As we come up to the last portion of our onboarding video, we'll talk about the 6 steps of driving a successful and consistent customer experience. Finally, here, as we talk about the Great Game of Business and our workplace culture, you'll hear a lot about enjoyment, engagement, and lastly, we want to have you have fun. We want Waters Gardens to be a fun place to work. We believe that's true, and we want to develop that belief each and every day with you. As we finish up with this onboarding video, yet once again, welcome to Waters Garden Center. And this is where we tie it all together. We've spoken about our vision, our values, our mission. We've discussed culture and the Great Game of Business. But ultimately, if we don't have a customer here buying from us, It really is just a beautiful place to work. So we want to make sure that we're delivering an exceptional customer experience. And not just exceptional. There's a word that I'm real keen on, and it's called consistency. A consistent and exceptional customer experience. As an example, if I go to dinner at night here in Prescott and have a wonderful meal with wonderful food, great service, great music, great vibe and atmosphere, great culture, if you think about it, it makes me think I want to come back. So we take the wife out to dinner again, date night, and we go, and it's not the same. It's different. It's not as good. And I'm wondering, which one is the right one? Was it the first experience that I got where it was fabulous and excellent and exceptional? Or is the second one really you? And I'm not sure which is which, so I'm going to choose to not take a risk and come back a third time to find out. The most valuable thing our customers have is their time, and we want to ensure that their time is invested here and that they get an exceptional yet consistent customer experience. And the way that we do that is to follow this 6-step routine to drive a consistent customer experience. And the first step is called creating a culture of ownership. A culture of ownership means that you, this new employee joining the team here at Waters Garden Center, take ownership of your job. Own what you're supposed to do. Think like an owner. If you see something that's unsafe, move it out of the way. If you see plant material that's not reflective of the top quality plants that we sell here, move it out of the way. Take ownership of everything that you do and do it the very best you can, and then take one step more. That's creating a culture of ownership. And if we've got that, we all own the experience of the customer. We've got something to be able to tell, and certainly something that we're able to sell as well. So the first step is to create a culture of ownership. The second step is to be able to set standards. Setting standards as we have it here at Waters Garden Center. 5-star service standards, our 6-star pledge, the way in which we greet the customer, the training that we have at the cashier, the opportunity to give them everything that they need to be successful. All of these are standards or systems, as you will, as we spoke just a little bit before. So create a culture of ownership, set standards in place, and then deliver those standards. Deliver the standards is don't just plan it, but do it. Don't just think it, but do it. So delivering on those standards is important. The next up is called measure our standards. Measuring our standards means, are we actually seeing traction? Do we see that what we're doing is actually having an impact? Are we able to see that the customer satisfaction surveys are better or our Google review is better? Are we able to see that traction by measuring those standards? And that's where the mini games come into play. And we'll have a scoreboard that you're able to measure and report how we're doing on our mini games. The next step is called step 5, and that is remove barriers. So if we have a culture of ownership and we set standards and we deliver the standards and we measure the standards, what's getting in our way? What are the barriers that are stopping us to be able to deliver that exceptional, consistent customer experience? And there are 2 types of barriers. One is the process side. How do we improve and become more efficient and effective in the way that we do things here at Waters Garden Center? If you have ideas to improve, we want to hear about it. Inside of Group Space, you'll find the inspiration wall. Here's an idea that I think could improve profitability, productivity, efficiency, whatever those ideas are. We want to know about it because they're barriers getting in the way of us being better. The second, more important barrier are people. People. And that's where we want to make sure that you, as you join our team, are delivering the best experience possible as a team member, showing up to work on time with a positive attitude, committed to the success of the customer, and being a good team player. Those are the basic expectations of employment that we're looking for out of you in this onboarding video. And if we're able to remove the barriers of process and the people that are not willing to step up and do their part, if we could get a team and a process in place, we're then able to do what this whole video is about, and that's deliver an exceptional and consistent customer experience. But it begins with you. It begins with you, and it begins today here in this onboarding video. So you now have all the tools to be successful, rooted and ready to go. Day one with this onboarding video, we welcome you yet again to Waters Garden Center. And I'd like to take this last moment to turn it back over to Mackenzie Lane, who has some final thoughts as you join our team. Good luck. Have a great career here. It's not just a job, it's a career, and we're glad you're now part of our team.
Welcome to Waters Garden Center and our family. Let's start our journey together.